There is nothing more important to Texas Senator Ted Cruz than his desire to see America return to more of a Christian nation. This, as a good part of America, has spoken loudly and would prefer we are run less by faith and more by fact. It's one of the main talking points for the POTUS candidate as he crisscrosses the country tirelessly seeking the Republican nomination. But also at the forefront of his thinking is how to get those votes, how to convince people he's the right man for the job, and winning over those who might not be seen as likely voters for his way of thinking. Part 4 of our exclusive one-on-one with Senator Cruz focuses on those values, how he envisions rebuilding America, and something of a shock when he reveals the group of people he believes will come over to his way of thinking. It's what you'll see and hear, only on the Hardline.
You know, one of the amazing things we're seeing on this campaign is I travel around the country. Right after the debate, we did a bus tour, 7 states in 7 days. At just about every stop, someone came up to me and said some variant of the following. In Charleston, South Carolina, a woman came up to me and said, in 2008, I voted for Barack Obama. In 2012, I stayed home, I didn't vote. She said, in 2016, I'm voting for you. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, another man came up to me. It was an older man, a working man, heavy calluses on his hands, grease on his shirt. He shook my hand and he said, Ted, my whole life I've been a registered Democrat. He said, this morning I went to the county clerk's office and registered as a Republican to vote for you.
Why? Why are they voting for you?
Because working men and women are getting hammered by the Obama-Clinton economy. And you know what? They want to defend our constitutional liberties. We started this discussion talking about religious liberty. Religious liberty is an issue that cuts across. If you think about 1980, Ronald Reagan didn't run following the Washington fallacy. Reagan didn't say, I'm just like Jimmy Carter, except infinitesimally to the right. No, Reagan drew a line in the sand. He said this is a fundamental choice. And what happened was millions of FDR Democrats, people who had been Democrats for generations, whose fathers and grandfathers had been Democrats, they crossed over because they said, those are my values. I'll tell you, in Wyoming yesterday, a young man came up to me. He shook my hand. He said, you're the first political candidate I've ever contributed to in my life. He said, I've never voted. I'm 30 years old. I've never voted. I'm voting for you.
Why would the left follow you? Now, you talked about Reagan Democrats. You are seen as being as far right as possible. You hear all the
You mean
pundits.
kind of like Ronald Reagan?
Kind of like Ronald
Because that's
Reagan.
exactly what they said about Ronald Reagan.
But that's just it. You are seen now by a media and painted by a media as being very far right. So then why would that left follow you if you're that far right?
Well, you know, you're right. The media paint a picture, and for that matter, we started this conversation talking about Hollywood celebrities. They're very much part of the media. They don't tell the truth. The media are not fair and impartial arbiters. They are partisan advocates. They are Obama's biggest defenders. And there is no one more ready for Hillary than the media. What the American people understand is the common sense values America was built on. You know, the movie The Usual Suspects has a great line. The greatest trick the devil ever played was to convince the world he didn't exist. There's a corollary, which is the greatest trick the left has ever played, was to convince conservatives that America doesn't share our values. America is and remains a center-right country. The Judeo-Christian values that built this country remain the foundation of who we are. And when it comes, what are the principles I'm fighting to defend? Live within your means. Don't bankrupt our kids and grandkids. Follow the Constitution. Those are basic common sense principles. You give me 100 people in any state in the Union, doesn't matter if they're Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Libertarians, the majority of them are going to agree with those propositions because that's who we are. And you know, that's what Reagan did. If you think about what Reagan did, he never condescended, he never lectured to the American people. He gave voice to our values. He understood who we are and what we believe. And you know, you can't have a sharper contrast than on foreign policy right now. President Obama, with this catastrophic Iranian nuclear deal, is trying to give over $100 billion to Iran, led by a theocratic Ayatollah who chants death to America. There are a whole lot of people in America, including even a lot of Democrats right now, who think that's nuts. And they're looking for a president who, like Reagan, will stand for America, for our national security, with our allies, and against our enemies.
Fascinating one-on-one with Ted Cruz. We have one more segment to go, and it will be Friday. Make sure you join us, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific Time, right around the hard line, to go one-on-one with the senator and the man who believes that he will be president. If you want to learn more about Ted Cruz, real simple. All you have to do is pick up a copy of his book, A Time for Truth, and this will give you a good insight into him. This is a free offer. So just go to Newsmax.com/Ted Cruz or call 1-800-485-4350. And then you can be back here on Friday, learn more about Ted Cruz, and get ready for the Republican fight. Oh, did I say get ready? Just continue to follow it, all right? Coming up on deck, the story so many people tried to cover up in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina and how it has forever changed how emergency rooms and doctors will deal with natural disasters going forward. And let's hope we don't have any more Katrinas in our near future. Stay with us. The Hard Line continues.